Hey YouTube, it's Justin, aka Demonic Sweaters, here with a product review. Today we're going to be talking about this Pyle PDMICR42 microphone. And, well, I guess you could just call it the R42 for short, because I think all of the Pyle microphones start with this PDMIC, which just, I think it means Pyle Dynamic Mic, basically. So anyway, I'm talking into it right now. It's a vintage retro style microphone, basically a clone or copy of the Shure 55S microphone. And actually, that's why I ended up buying this thing. Honestly, I was looking at the 55 series, the Shure 55 series, and I'm trying to control my spending right now. And then I saw this microphone for about 40 bucks as opposed to the $160 that the 55S costs. And I was like, well, you know, I'll give it a shot. I have hit or miss experience with Pyle products in the past. I have a Pyle power amplifier that I used for my studio monitors that has been working great for me for like over 10 years, and I absolutely love it. It sounds good, it works, and it does its job. The other Pyle products I have is a Pyle headphone amplifier, which I think sounds terrible, and I never use it. And then I've had some other Pyle microphones in the past where, you know, they were about hit or miss. Some of them worked pretty good. Other ones, not so great. Some of them broke very quickly. My history with Pyle is I have mixed feelings. You know, they're very inexpensive, and some of the products seem to work good. Some of them don't. Now, this particular microphone, as you can hear right now, surprisingly, actually sounds quite nice. I was pretty impressed with the sound of it. I do want to mention, though, that even though this looks like metal, it is not. This is plastic right here. And but, you know, if you're just going for the vintage retro look, the plastic really doesn't bother me too much. If you plan on traveling with it and, you know, using it as a road microphone, then maybe the plastic will cause you more problems. But, you know, basically, I'm mostly just going to be using this one at home. And while I make this video, I have a few experiments that I'm going to set up for it. But other than that, you know, the advantage of having a plastic casing on it is it's actually quite light. So if you have it up on a stand, like an overhead microphone stand or something like that, it won't weigh down the stand, whereas the 55S is quite heavy, and unless you have a solid base on the microphone stand, they do tend to weigh those down. So that is kind of nice, you know, if you want to look at it optimistically for having the plastic case. Now, I should mention, too, that Pyle does make a version of this microphone with a metal case, but it costs $57, somewhere around there, and this one was $42. So I went ahead and ordered two of these, and the other one should be here a little bit later on today. Well, first I ordered one, and then I was actually so impressed with the sound quality of it, I was like, I kind of want to get another one of those, so I have a pair. And, you know, what I'm going to be doing with this microphone is a little bit different than the other reviews you're going to see here on YouTube. First off, I just want to mention that I'm running right through the microphone right now. It's going directly into my iPad through a Ceremonic Smart Rig interface. And I just have it plugged in there. There's no other effects processing or anything on the microphone right now. I'm using the provided cable that it comes with, and I think it sounds quite nice given the price, and, you know, and it looks really cool. So anyway, I don't plan on just giving you guys a vocal test here like most people do with these microphones. So I'm actually going to record an entire song using nothing but these R42 microphones. Going to record acoustic guitar as well as drums and whatever else I feel like putting on there. But that's probably it. But what I plan on doing is recording with one microphone into the acoustic guitar, and then when I set up the drums, I'm going to be going to a studio tomorrow and take these mics with me, and I'm going to use two of them. I plan on putting one kind of close to the drums and maybe one as an overhead, and we'll see how that does. So also I wanted to mention, if you're interested in one of these microphones, there's some links down below. You can pick one up on Amazon for like about $42, like I said. And yeah, so before we get started making the rest of the song, why don't you check out my music on Spotify? There's some links down below for that as well. Actually, there's a playlist I just made that basically has all of my projects combined into one playlist. So you can just follow that playlist, and you'll kind of get the best of everything I do on Spotify. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. First off, I guess I'm just going to cut right to the song, and you guys can hear what this sounds like. So here we go. All right, so here's the setup I just used that you guys just saw. And as you can see, I have one R42 down there, kind of pointed towards basically all the drums, kind of kick drum, rag tom, floor tom, and snare drum. And that's a position that I came up with. Well, I didn't come up with it, but I started doing it like several years ago. And I always found that that is a good location, especially with a dynamic cardioid pickup pattern mic to kind of pick up everything. And then I had the other one just up here as an overhead. And I kind of moved it around a bit. I did have it pointed like more straight down, and I wasn't quite happy with that. And then I also had it a little bit louder in the beginning and then turned it down because it was sounding a little bit overbearing with the two mics together, because this one was picking up quite a bit of ride on its own. But overall, I think it came out sounding pretty good. Very vintage sounding. The toms, you know, I'm using this tiny little Club Jam flyer kit. The toms are 8 and 10 over there. And then we have a 10-inch snare drum and a 14-inch bass drum. And yeah, so I wanted to use this kit because I'm kind of doing like a simultaneous 3 videos at once here with this particular video. And yeah, so anyway. Oh, and let me show you guys the recording setup over here. Oh shoot, the screen just went off. Hold on. Let's open that back up. So here we go. I just have my iPad with GarageBand. I recorded this entire song in GarageBand, and then I'm just using the Saramonic, whatever how you say that, audio interface, 2-channel audio interface. Just using the cables that came with the R42 mics, and just running them directly into the Saramonic interface, and then recorded the drums on a single stereo track. I actually did a couple of different takes. There's one down there too, but I think I'm happiest with the last one that I just did. And so, yeah, not much you can change, you know, after the fact as far as levels go, especially in GarageBand, because both left and right are all on one channel when you're recording GarageBand. But it still came out good. You know, there's still stereo separation. Here's another view of the drum kit. I have the Evans hydraulics on the kick and toms, Evans G2 on the snare drum. I think the kick and the floor tom and the snare drum all sound really good. The rack tom, well, maybe because this head needs to be broken in more. It's a little bit more choked than I would like it, but it's not too bad. And they definitely sound fuller with the hydraulics on them than they do with like thinner heads, because these drums are so tiny. This one over here. Actually, no, never mind. I think they sound fine. I don't really care if there's a lot of sustain, because the sustain on these drums, like I was saying, it's so high-pitched if you have like a thin head on there that it just doesn't really sound that awesome anyway. So kind of short and thuddy, I'd rather have that. Anyway, yeah. Oh, also, you might have noticed that this is not the stock tom mount for this Club Jam flyer. This is actually the tom mount off of this Star Classic, which is over here. And I actually forgot my tom mount. And my plan was I just come here. I'm in a rental studio place, and I'm just using all of their hardware. I brought my floor tom legs, but I forgot to bring the bass drum tom mount. And luckily, they had a tom kit in here that one just happened to fit. So it looks a little bit crazy. It's like huge and has an extra tom holder on it, but it worked just fine. Cymbals I'm using here are the Zildjian A Uptown Ride, a vintage, this is a hollow, you can't really see it, but it's a hollow logo Zildjian vintage 1970s crash. And then I have a similar era 1970s Zildjian New Beats right here. And then over here we have the Zildjian Transformer crash. And actually today is the first time I've ever used that thing. I've had it for like a year and I've never used it. It was so cheap, I ordered it, and it's pretty cool. And it's really loud, actually. It's a lot louder than I thought it was. I had to like learn how to control my hitting of it, because if I hit it right on the edge, like super hard, it's kind of louder than anything. So it's kind of best just to hit with the tip. You know, if you're trying to get more of a jazzy type sound that I was doing today. For rock, there's no doubt in my mind that this thing would cut through just about anything. All right, that's going to be all for this video, everybody. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it and found it useful, found it inspirational. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to like, subscribe, Follow my playlist down on Spotify down below, and I'll see you guys really, really soon. Have a great day. Later.